We are back with another edition of Diamond's Corner. Special guest today, Brad One Punch Pickett, UFC vet, WEC vet, Bodog fighting. I mean, if you're into the sport, you know him and love him. And thanks for joining us.
No problem. Thanks for having me, guys.
So, are you you're calling in from London now?
I'm from in my office. Well, office. I call it the office to my wife, but really it's a man cave. But you know, when she's around, I call it my office.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm calling from there in South London. Yeah.
Nice. So, thanks for having. I mean, you've been a long-time supporter of our brand. No pun intended. We've supported you too in your fights, and no, thanks for coming on. And what are you up to? I mean, obviously we're doing the COVID-19 lockdown, but tell me what's going on in your life.
Well, before this all kind of kicked off, what's going on in my life? I do a lot of commentary for a Russian show called ACA, and then I also do a lot of coaching. I have my own fight team, Great British Top Team, over here in England. We're in the process of opening my own gym very soon. Just trying to finalize the location. But I have my own fight team already, where we just bounce around using other locations at the moment. But the team's doing really well. I'm busy. I'm one of those people. If I wasn't busy, I'll make myself busy anyway. I have a very good, well, for this certain sort of climate as well. I have a very good brand called Vigour8, which is it's an antifungal bacterial wash that we use to help you use it after training, really, to help you get in. You know, when you're rolling on the mats, it can be very dirty places at times, and keep yourself from ringworms, staph, impetigo, that sort of stuff. So it's very good to keep yourself clean. I guess in this sort of current environment, it's a very good product to have.
Cool. How long have you been working on that for?
It's been just over a year, I think. It's a very new brand, and it's growing what we call very organically. You know, it's just like we're not blasting it out there in people's faces. It's just like word of mouth sort of thing. And people who haven't tried the product love the product. Smells nice, and I say people who sometimes have very sensitive skin and stuff like that, it works really well for them. And it's not. You use it as obviously a normal body wash, but you use it as a bath soak and even shaving foam. You can do it for a lot of things if you have sensitive skin.
Cool. Yeah, I mean that's our Diamond MMA crew. Just small and organic, and I've been bootstrapping this thing ever since, and making a good product and word of mouth, especially within the community of combat sports and all these athletes. So that's great. So tell me now, are you officially retired, or are you fighting anymore, or?
Well, this is the thing. I've officially retired from MMA. As in, I will never fight MMA again, because for me, I reached the pinnacle of what I was going to achieve in MMA. I always try to get to number one. You know, not for the one to try and I didn't make it. You know, obviously, most of my fights were 135 in the UFC, and I was like, the highest rank I got was top 5 in the world, and within that top 10, I fought 7 people. But every time I had that kind of like title eliminator sort of fight, I kept them falling over at the final hurdle. So that's why I went down a weight class to 125, because obviously at that time, Demetrius Johnson was the world champion. I was the first win over Demetrius Johnson back in the WEC. So my idea was go down that weight class, win a fight, then get an immediate title shot. Try yet again, trying to be number 1 in the world. Going down the weight class didn't really suit my sort of fighting style. Guys just, what I say, was a little bit faster than me, and they just hit, run, and I didn't enjoy that sort of fighting. And it wasn't one of those ones where I always, being a bit prehistoric and old school I am, I said, like, if you locked me in a room with any one of those guys and gave one of us a key, I'd be coming out of that room. But just over 15 minutes, people found a way of hit, run, move, and like, I get it, it's part of the sport, but I didn't like that. So as soon as I lost a split decision against Chico Camus, which still went without, I'm not bitter, but still at this day, I believe I won that fight, just being, yet again, the aggressor that I always was.
Mm-hmm.
And then, when I lost that fight, I kind of felt like my title chances at that weight class would diminish. So I thought, sod it, I'm going to back up a weight class, went back up, and just fought at 135 again, and then I carried on fighting, and then it got to the stage where I loved it. It was a job, but it felt like a bit of a job sometimes. I was spending a lot of time away from my family. I was getting older, and I'm like, people when they retire normally retire through injury, getting the sack, or something along those lines. I wanted to retire on my own terms, so I decided the next time, because the UFC always come to London in March every year. Normally, obviously this year got cancelled, but normally March every year. So I knew, like, when it comes back to my hometown, I'm going to retire. I'm going to announce that I'm retiring, retire in front of all my fans, and I did, and I had one of the best send-offs ever. It was an amazing, very emotional time for me, and that was it. And then from that, after that, as in, I got asked to do a bare knuckle boxing match in the UK. It was actually a year ago, really. And I was like, I was getting a bit itchy feet every now and again, like, kind of thing, because I wasn't really retired because of injury. I actually felt not too bad. And I felt, I give bare knuckle boxing a go. A few stories led to this decision, and I know I'm a fighter, but I like to think I'm a little bit smarter than I look, and how I kind of weighed things up. It was like, I just retired literally not too long from the UFC. For me, it was just the highest pinnacle of fighting, MMA, 100%, right? And I'm not as if I could, if I wanted to, I just still believe I could have fought in the UFC and still compete and win fights. But my title aspirations, like I said, were diminished, and I always wanted to be number one. So me retiring, and me thinking about the fights in bare knuckle would give me trouble, would be fighters that are not fighting bare knuckle. They're fighting for the WBO boxing belt, and they're fighting in the UFC or one champions. They're fighting in those shows, not fighting bare knuckle boxing. So I felt, I think I'd hold my own. So I got offered a fight for the British belt, my weight class. So I took the fight, and again, business wise, like I say, I'm not going to be fighting the sort of caliber guys I was fighting in the UFC. And also, story behind it, when I got into fighting, my mum told me I got it from my granddad. He died when I was 4, so I didn't really know him, but he was a bare knuckle boxer.
Really?
Yeah, and that's why in my fights, you see when I come out wearing a trilby and braces like that. You guys over there call them suspenders, but I wore those. And that was because, looking back at pictures of my granddad, he used to wear a trilby hat and braces. So I always used to pay tribute to my granddad. So I thought it would be quite a good story for it to go full circle, for me to have a bare knuckle boxing match and stuff like that. So basically, I had it. I literally lasted 2 punches. I didn't get hit. It was the easiest night's work of my life. And if everyone knows me fighting, I'm normally in a bit of a bad, I always give myself, I always said that I could fight the best guy in the world to be a good fighter. I could fight the dustman, and then I would get myself into some kind of fight, So for me, it was really weird not getting hit, coming around winning the British belt. And I'm like, strange. And then, so basically, that was it. I went on my way. I'm like, okay, cool, that's fine. And then I've been so busy and stuff, always busy. So I'm coaching and commentating, and I have 2 kids. So I don't really have time to really train for myself. So weirdly enough, now with this sort of climate that we have now, I have a lot of time to myself. So all I can do is get myself in shape in my own time. And at the end of the day, all I need to do get in shape. I ain't forgotten how to fight. I know how to throw. I know how to throw. And you're not going to teach me how to throw a jab and stuff like that. And for me, on my body wise, it was so easy to get ready for a bare knuckle boxing match, because all you have to do is run, hit pads, do a bit of sparring. Simple, right? You ain't got to wrestle, you ain't got to grapple, where it's tough on your body and stuff like that. You ain't got to do so many disciplines. For me, it was quite easy to get ready for. So I'm like, you know what, they reached out to me and said, would they be interested in fighting again when this all dies over? And I was like, why not? So I may do another one on the British BKB.
Cool. Wow. Yeah, I mean, your MMA career speaks for itself, and one of my favorite guys to always watch. And it's great to see you transition from just everything, not just bare knuckle, but coaching and business, and then family. That's great. So bare knuckle boxing, how does that? I don't know how many punches you said. You didn't throw too many punches, but how do your hands feel? I mean, is it different without the wraps? I mean, I know Joe Rogan talks a lot about that. He thinks that's the way it should be in the UFC, is no gloves, just bare knuckle.
Yeah, for me, especially with the sort of the boxing side of things of bare knuckle boxing, I think it really suits the MMA sort of fighters who have MMA striking, because you're used to having small gloves, right? And you're used to, like, in boxing, you could like use your shoulder and you have a bigger glove to protect and a bigger glove trying to hit you. So with smaller hands, like with small hands, they're going to get through these little bits. So I think the striking for MMA, if you're like a boxing sort of striker, like I loved the boxing side of MMA.
Mm-hmm.
I think it really suits my style for bare knuckle boxing. With my hands, like I said, to be honest, if you could go back, it's on my Instagram page somewhere back in the day.
Yep.
Or you could just go on YouTube, I guess. But I threw two punches. One was an overhand right, which dropped him. He had a 20-second count, which you get in bare knuckle boxing. He got back up, and then I threw a left hook. It looks like it kind of didn't hit him, but it just shows how devastating it is with bare knuckle, because as I threw my left hook, he was going out of the way, and I kind of just clipped his nose, and his nose just kind of obliterated. And like he was on the floor, and it was like a lot of damage. And in a weird way, I feel like I can laugh about it now, but I felt they wrapped his face up and they kind of mummified him in the cage. He looked pretty weird. Yeah, so it just shows you how brutal it can be. Just a couple of punches landed, and like luckily, I've never really had, throughout my whole career fighting, I've never had any problem with my hands really. Not good.
You hear a lot of fighters talking about breaking hands and having hand issues. Did you do anything to strengthen them, to prevent hand injuries? You think it's genetics? You think it's just technique and how you throw a punch? What do you tell me?
Genetics. I think genetics and also technique. Punch with good technique, you're not going to break your hands. You punch with sloppy technique, you don't hit correctly, you're going to break your hand. So I think it's a mixture of both genetics and technique.
So I got to go back and watch your fight. What did you wear? Did you just wear shorts? Did you wear a cup for the bare knuckle? You probably didn't need to.
This is the funny thing, right? I didn't wear a cup.
Yeah.
So I went to the ring. This is the funny thing. I went to the ring, and the ref felt my cup and go, "You're not wearing a cup?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it doesn't matter." And he's like, "No, you need to wear a cup." So I had to wait till someone went backstage to get me a cup to put it on, right? So that took longer than the fight itself. The fight was like 24 seconds. It took way longer for someone to go backstage, get me a cup, to wear a cup. I had to change. I changed in the middle of the ring, like pull my pants down, put a cup on. I'm like, all right, let's go. It's like pretty weird.
Oh my God. So they require a cup.
Yeah. So next one, 100% I'll wear my diamond cup.
Now which weight did you have to cut any weight for that, or?
It was same day weigh-in, and I think I fought at 66 kilos, which it was fine, easy. Right now I weigh about 71 kilos, So if I start training and get myself in shape, I fought a flyweight, which is 57 kilos. So yeah.
So now you got all this going on. We're kind of stuck at home. You got the kids, and what are you doing to stay active? I mean, are you just working on your businesses? I know you have a podcast. I mean, tell me walk us through a day of your life right now.
Right. This is some people could maybe take some advice from this. I'm not one of those people to preach people, but I do this. I write a list, right, of what I'm going to do tomorrow, right? Well, what I had today, I think, give a list. I needed to go to the post office early in the morning as it opened, because I needed to collect some posters. Done that. Then I had to go to eBay. At the moment, I cleared up my loft. and I bought everything down and I started just putting stuff on eBay, some old stuff from I'm never going to, boom. So I've actually earned quite a bit of money from selling stuff on eBay, right?
That's what Gary Vee talks about, is just flipping that stuff on eBay and getting rid of stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah, I did. And there was some things I was going to throw away, and like this, for instance, there was like this is a NY Fat toy by Michael Lau, right? I was going to just throw this away, and I thought I'd check on eBay, and someone's selling this for £170, right? Not signed. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll show it. This is what it is. Right? So this one, it's got some spray cans in there, right? So I just put it on there for 150. Undercut my competition. It hasn't sold yet, but that's me. I've just got loads of old toys I used to collect, like cube bricks and stuff like that. I've got, I don't know if you can see, I've got loads of Star Wars stuff over there. Look, I'll show you.
Huh.
Star Wars.
Oh yeah, you got a nice collection.
I still build the old Millennium Falcon.
My son built the Millennium Falcon.
That one there.
He built that. It took him 4 months, and we had to get pieces sent to it. That was a hard one. He was young too.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's the biggest piece they've ever done. Yeah. So. Let me ask
you a question. I want to get back to your to-do list because I'm fascinated by to-do lists. I have my own little book I carry around with me.
Yeah.
Just because I'm doing 10 different things at once. When you write your to-do list out, do you write it in order that you want to do it, or just randomly throughout? When do you make it? Walk me through real details of. Do you have a checkbook, a check mark where you scratch it off? Are there times?
Yeah.
I want to learn about this to-do list.
Yeah. For me, with my to-do list, obviously everything can change. It's like sometimes. My perfect example was on my list today. I've done most of the things. There's a few things that I haven't achieved today, which I'll do tomorrow, which I'll pass on to the next day. But the reason today is out of nowhere, I looked out my front garden and I saw my neighbor, who is, I think, 90 years old, 85 to 90 old, and he's trimming his hedge. And I went, "What are you doing?" I went down there. And I said, "Look, go back in your house, give me a trimmer." And I've done all his front garden for him. And why I've done that, I'm like, well, I might as well do mine. So I've done mine. So that just added to my day. So there's always like a little bit of leeway here and there. But what I say is the reason I do this, things could always change, stuff. But the reason I have a to-do list is because it gives me some sort of objective. Sometimes if you just wake up in the day and go, what am I going to do today? Straight away you've lost, because you've had no plan. And you get up and half your day goes and you go sit down. And I'm going to go eat some breakfast. You go eat some breakfast and you sit down. Or maybe I'll play some computer games, or maybe, don't get me wrong, playing computer games and watching movies, fine, but plan that in, and normally do some, what I say, productive stuff first. So when you sit down watching your film or sit down playing your computer, you don't feel guilty. You're like, I've had a workout. I got up this morning, I went for a run. Now I'll come back. Now I had a bit of fun. I'm going to watch a movie or play some video.
You earned it, right?
Yes, exactly that. So and this is what I always go on about. Like, for me, everyone goes on about money. I don't. For me, the currency everyone has is 24 hours in their day. Everyone has that. No matter how rich or poor you are, you have 24 hours. But what you find with successful people, they do more with their 24 hours than the next person. One person will sit there, watch all the seasons of Breaking Bad, and don't get me wrong, they're brilliant. But then sit there, this time now, it's a really weird situation. People complain and they get wrong. But you're thinking maybe a month or two time when it's all settles down, people are going to be crying for this time back. Man, you got so much time to invest in yourself, learn a language. It's so easy nowadays to pick up a language from your phone and learn. Like, just do it. So much. If this happened 20 years ago, yeah, I'd be screwed. There's not enough stuff like now here chatting to you online. Easy. Like we don't have this. We're prepared for things like this for years to self-isolate in a way that we could do a shopping online. We could order anything from Amazon. We've got online video games, and we can FaceTime. So we're used to this situation. We could do this if we want. So like, for me, at the end of the day, I just think people should use this time wisely, and don't just sit in the house and mope. you know, and use it. Yeah, again, 24 hours in a day. At least do one workout. You know, I only done one today. I just went on my pencil and bike and just done a 30-minute workout. I feel good, kind of fine. You know, so like stuff like that. Learn how to cook if you can't cook. You know, save your money. Then ordering loads of takeouts. You know, it's not hard. There's so much. Like my washing machine broke down the other day. Oh, go online. Ah, fixed it. It's like it's not that hard, you know.
It's so I love what you're saying, and we got a few minutes left, and I want to do this again because you're some of this advice is great, and just the way you're presenting it, and especially with the to-do list. I mean, having that to-do list when you wake up in the morning, what you're saying is you're proactive. You know, you're not reacting. You're being proactive, and you're attacking the day. You're on the offense, not the defense, is what I'm trying to say.
100%. A lot of people rely, depending on what they do for work, right? So when you have a job, you rely on your boss to tell you what to do. So you just turn up and your boss goes, do this, do that, do that. But at the moment, everyone's their own boss.
Yeah.
So you need to tell yourself what you're going to be doing tomorrow. Otherwise, you're not going to do nothing, and your day's just going to go. And then you're going to think, oh, what have I done today? I've done nothing. Well, like I say, for me, since this time, I've cleared out my loft. I put flooring down in my loft. I've sorted out my garden. I've painted, decorated. I've done so much stuff. I keep myself so busy. I filled up 2 skips in my front garden. I filled them up and they've been taken away. 2 skips worth of junk. I have to sort it all out. There's loads of stuff up.
It's valuable time that hopefully we'll never be able to get this time and have to be in the situation, but it is. You can make the most of it, make a to-do list, and get your shit done. Like you're saying, I mean, there's no excuse. If you want to watch a little Netflix, we all love it, but earn it and plan it.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, so I want to wrap up before we get cut off.
Okay.
Tell people where we can find you, what we should be looking for. I mean, give us all that.
Well, if you want to follow me, I guess the main part of social media I'm on mainly is Instagram. Is ONE_punch. You know, I do a lot of stuff of my life and my family and stuff like that. It's quite funny. I have 2 kids, which we probably get more love on my Instagram stories than I do. And stuff like that. That's what I'm on there. That's my main place. You can hit me up. I'm also on Twitter and the same thing, ONE_punch and stuff like that. I have a Facebook fan page as well. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy to come on whenever, and stuff like that, you know.
Life advice with one punch. I mean, I think I love it. You're getting me motivated and me to not do to-do list when I have stuff to do, but make it a religion, make it a habit every day. Yeah. And if something doesn't get done, move it to the next day's list.
There's a theory where they're saying you have to do something 14 times in a row to make it a habit. You know, so like if you do something, if you go out for a run one day and you do it 14 days in a row, now that becomes a habit in your body, and then you do it every day for the rest of your life until something happens. But don't get me wrong, doing it 14 times in a row is not easy. Sometimes life gets in there and whatever. But apparently psychologically, if you do something 14 times in a row, it becomes a habit. And when you have a habit, it's a habit. You know?
Love it, Brad. Thank you so much for coming on. We're going to do this again soon. All you guys that are liking these Diamond Corners, like, subscribe, and share them with your friends. And we'll be back again soon. Thanks. All right.